Hello everybody, okay? And for tonight, I want to show you on how to understand, okay? Okay, these are already the bedtime stories, okay? I will already move now into the chapter 4 of the bedtime stories again. And then, I will introduce myself, okay? I'm the hermit, a wizard hermit, known as the Simoun in the character of Filibusterismo. Okay, here we go now on how to. Okay, we're gonna read already the story. Okay, looks like the new already of the one and only Blackbird now. Okay, after the whiteboard is already okay to confirm to transform it now to the Blackbird marker, and then we're gonna tell the story on the chapter 5 bedtime stories. This is called the life of a story writer. Okay, I'll repeat: chapter 5 bedtime stories, chapter 5 the life of a story writer. Okay, begin. Once upon a time, you won't ever change that for almost how many years? Okay, this is the year, okay? For almost how many years today? And then, okay, said for almost how many years? And this is going to happen. Want you to think about the aspect, pleasure, and things around. Okay, pleasure of the things in this year, said. There is also the job in certain continuity. Okay, for many years, there is a job in a certain continuity. Okay, like here, this is a job, and then for how many years they will do. And this job, this is what you made the life of a story writer. Okay, so with this job connected with the year, is also already made with the life of a story writer. Okay, that's where, okay, continuously doing it for the past few chains ago. Some evidence and facts to become a story writer is a practice a hard time spills and it incremented or being created as a money such as the future, blog situation, and what's happening now. Okay, so the story of the story writer is that when the job is already okay, write the storytelling and then it's already made as a publisher, okay, and send money now. So that's why it goes to publish. That's why the this is the life of a story writer, okay? It contains what the projects and okay how the learning system it will made for almost the years, okay? It is evolving into years. And then all of these, okay, all of these are the best start and policy to create the most unfictionated and fictionated stories ever noticed, but in the meantime there is the cause and effect. You wonder to know the influence of the readers when they already started reading it, okay? So when you publish it, you might take a chance as a cause and effect when when the readers read about the story writer, okay? Or I mean what you say, the author of the story. So as long as after it already published within this year, the author it will publish it and then it will cause the cause and effect, okay? Between the readers who will already read the published story. And then you wonder to know the influence of the readers when they already start reading it. Okay, like I say, the consequences and the rules why the readers may not understand your stories is that they only focus on the grammar. Okay, if you wanna be a story writer, you wanna be conceived on how to use the grammar properly and correctly. That's why. Okay, so the result is if you are a story writer, okay, all of the readers will read your story, and there's also the cause and effect. Where the cause is that it will it will grammatically understand if you just put a correct grammar in the story, and the effect is if you don't okay if you cannot understand the story if you have the wrong grammar. That's why that's the cause and effect of the life of a story writer. If you want to be published it, you must take the correct grammar so that all of the readers will read the story. So the effect of it, but they don't understand it because of their grammar isn't appropriate when the story is already made in newspaper, tablet, or even magazine comics. Okay, that's why I say all of the cause and effect, remember to apply this, okay? So that if it already published, you will become amazed like, okay, published in newspaper, tablet, even magazine and comics as well. Also, the proposal to see statement, and that's why you'd been tried to visualize two errors so that no more incorrect grammars and being understood by the reader, such as also into the public. Okay, not like the story writer, but also it can relate to the it can relate to it can relate to the story writer also for the thesis. Okay, so you already say that the story writer is plus the thesis statement equals to reference and article. So that's why if you already okay, if you notice that making the thesis statement is also contains a story writer. Okay, that's why there's literature or references and articles made. That's why the story writer is just also the scope of thesis statement. That's why. So you made an introduction, okay, the methodology, then so on and so forth. Okay, that can put it into public if your grammar is okay, like what I said, cause and effect. Okay, cause is it will understand by the correct, but the effect is it cannot understand if your grammar is incorrect. And as a wise story writer who read anything about their own self is that by means of exciting stories they wanna know about. Okay, okay, like what I said, if the reader okay understands already the story of what Yanmade wrote, okay they already have a fun indulging this moment because they already relate in this story, and then much fully they are already excited to read about it, and also for the novels itself. Okay, if the author is writing the novels, be sure that they will understand. Okay, that's the cause, the effect. If they will not publish if you won't understand, that's the meaning of it's also like the thesis. Okay, if your grammar is incorrect, it will go and go again, okay, to pass this statement, and then to become correct, then to publish the thesis you've made. That's why all created stories should be excitement, like the way okay you appreciate or experience and been learned themselves. Okay, not just story writer, but they only create stories because for the influence and experience. That's why they exceeded according to okay, for example, the cast of Amontillado, you know already the story is all about revenge. And the revenge can based on real experience okay long ago. That's why it is fictional. That's why okay. You already know that, okay? Based on from your experience and or the real experience, you can create your own story too. And but later you must be understood by the use of grammar, okay? Correct grammar too. And remember that all storytellers must not be very lazy. Because if you also create games online, it needs also the story, okay? For example, the games online in the internet. You cannot create games in the internet without the story, okay? And without the story, you can understand what's the evolution of that, why you're creating games without the first intro of the story. And also of the application, to all story writer, you don't want to be very lazy, okay? Because if you want to be lazy, all of the sudden changes you apply, such as the climax, the setting, whatever was forth, if it will not finish, okay, the story is so boring, okay, if you don't finish it, okay. So better to don't give a lack of time. Become responsible on what your life is worthy, not okay, reckless, just like that. And the story is endless without it. Okay? The story without story, there's nothing, okay? There's no things around you can't understand. But if you write the story writer, if you wanna be a story writer, there's a lesson scheme, okay? Okay, so you learn more and more, and that thing will apply you in the future, okay? So that's why almost the years come, still never delete or ban the what makes the particular story writer. It's may become the legend or fiction and non-fiction, but it's up to you, okay? Because that's your mind and rhetorics to may apply. Okay. And the stories ends without it. And like I said, it's meaningless and there's no interaction in society, okay? Without story, there's interaction, okay? What will happen if the kids, Okay, don't read any stories. Okay, so they don't understand what they apply in what will become in the future. If you okay, let's talk about the Casa Pamantilado. The story is all about revenge. And suddenly you can apply it because you already understand what's the story. You can apply it to the future. That's the meaning of it. Without story, there is no interaction. That's why we have news all about and broadcasting. Okay, like what I said, it's all about the future. That's why there's now the calamities, okay, and then the forecast, because this already is also the example of story writer. You already noticed though what comes next and what will be appear in the statement, okay? Then also the psycholinguistic guessing game that proves to be real, and you're also to be alert in the situation that you can understand it more quickly because you need to focus what the broadcast and okay what mean is the profession. That's why we have news all about in broadcasting because stories came to motion in main in real life. Okay, okay, that's why I said it's already finished. Okay, it's also about the real life. Okay, I think so. If you create the story in real life, you will do this. Okay, like this statement, and then so as to think so far so good, you will understand it much better if you gonna illustrate what you read. That's the end of the story. The moral lesson is that don't give up creating stories. Remember to be humble. If you want to be a story writer, always correct intentions in terms of grammar so that people can understand your own developmental skills. Also, to all courses and better understanding subject has stories they existed too, okay? Not only just like a story writer, but also for the books you read. Okay, I will show to you. This book too is also called the story writer because we need to learn experience new chapters in life. Okay, hope you like the lesson and then okay. See you in the next chapter in this life. Thank you. The bedtime stories.